Welcome to 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K Plus movies to randomly watch, whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. Number 5,308 picked out of the magic box was Kisses, which sounded weirder than it actually was. You kind of get why it's called that when you go through the movie. So, a few facts about it. Irish movie, strangely enough. Runs for 1 hour 12 minutes, so it's not actually that much of a time sink. 2008, IMDb score of 7.2, Metacritic score of 68. Actually, in the Irish Film and TV Awards, it actually won Best Director and Best Editing, and it won some other small, maybe County Galway Field Movie Festival or something. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm guessing that's because there isn't that much competition in the Irish movies.
Yes, 2008 was a bit of a stale year. So it's directed by Lance Daly. Now, if you look up his bio, he is most well known for Kid with Harmonica in The Commitments.
Yeah.
So that's one of his entries, but he has directed Black 47. Have you watched that movie?
I haven't seen it, but it's on my list actually.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
It does actually.
Hugo Weaving, can't go wrong.
Hugo Weaving, yeah. Life's a Breeze, The Good Director, The Halo Effect, which I think got him another award at some point, and then I think it's
another IFTA, wasn't it? An Irish
I think
award.
So. Yeah. And Last Days in Dublin. So he's been about, but he hasn't done anything. Actually, I was reading it up and I can't remember, but he wrote a movie, a Czech Republic horror movie in 2018, I think. I didn't take total note of that, but yeah, it didn't do well.
That's just the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, it's down as one of his writing accolades in his IMDb
like to
bio.
go from producer, director of Black 47, which was received quite well, to a Czech horror.
I think it might have been before Black 47. I'm not sure. It's snuck in there, and it just comes up as a one of his writing credits. So not totally prolific, not really that famous yet, but you never know. I tried looking up him on the internet, and there's nothing really out there. Like I tried to look up quite a few people, and a lot of their links are dead, and a lot of the bios or social media accounts isn't actually them. So it's a bit strange. 2 actors in it, the main characters, Kelly O'Neill and Shane Curry. We can, I'll pretty much just go through what Kelly O'Neill's last movie was this.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything else on her as well.
No,
it just dropped off
the face of the planet. Kind of confusingly enough, her only other movie was another movie with Kiss in it, Lino's Last Kiss. Yeah, so something about kisses or something. Shane Curry, the other young actor in it, has played a couple of other roles. He was also in Lino's Last Kiss. He was in Hideaways. He was in Stalker, and he was also in a movie called Dollhouse, where he won an award with the rest of the cast at the Odessa Film Festival.
Oh, very fancy.
Yeah. So, and I actually, because Odessa's in Ukraine, I looked up and actually was checking to see if Odessa Film Festival actually still exists, and it does. So, thankfully, that's something that has survived the recent turmoil there. Anything else about those 2 actors that you came up?
No, you pretty much covered it. Like again, they're not really household names, and they're not likely to be honest.
No.
I thought Shane was a little bit better as an actor.
Oh, that's where we're...
You think the other way?
I think the opposite.
I thought she was a bit wooden at times.
We can get into that with the acting section. So you want to give a stab at the plot. So we're doing obviously 4 review areas: plot, acting, sound, track in brackets, and production. So let's start with the plot so people actually know what on earth is going on in this movie.
It's a happy one.
Yeah, so I'll give you the floor for this one.
Yeah, it's basically 2 kids, a bit of a boyfriend girlfriend aren't they sort of, it's puppy love very early, but in rough, horrible, crappy, desolate, grim Tala.
Is it Tala?
It's Tala.
It is. Okay.
I know the street.
You know the street.
I've driven past it.
Wow. Okay.
And it looks like that, which is lovely. And I would imagine growing up there is quite a similar as well. I know a couple of lads that live there. They probably wouldn't agree with me, but I would not like to live there.
It's not got the best.
If
people don't know Dublin, Tala's not got the best of reputations.
It's a big place, so there are areas that are lovely, there are areas that aren't.
Yeah.
But these two guys, they live beside each other, next door neighbours. They look like they don't have any other friends. Their family life is grim. The boy's father is a bit of the old punchy on him. His older brother, who is no longer on the scene, and the wife, early on, slaps are applied liberally. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on the other side of the equation, the poor little girl doesn't have a great time of it. I'm not sure who the guy on the motorbike is.
Yeah, it comes up.
Doesn't go into any detail.
Comes up later. It reflects later in the alleyway scene.
It does, and it's kind of suggested that with her reaction when he pops up, and her kind of lagging it. But it's kind of. I found the plot difficult to watch. The storyline was tough. It was an interesting enough storyline that I think the plot's the best part of the movie.
Right.
I don't know if you
yeah, well, we can get into that.
Yeah, and then they run away. They have adventures. Boats are involved. Huckleberry Finn style trips, which I thought was possibly the nicest part of the movie. They enjoyed themselves briefly, which was a nice thing. There was money involved that was acquired nefariously.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, so a bit of a shopping spree.
Yeah.
And then it goes to crap.
They're in Dublin.
That's already a bad start.
Yeah. It's not painted in the best of lights. And
it really isn't. It shows...
That's not that hard to do.
It shows the darker side of Dublin. I've spent a lot of my life in Dublin. I've partied in Dublin. I've worked in Dublin. But this is a side of Dublin that you don't normally see, but it is there if you look close. And it's not actually hard to see this part of it. And it's probably a lot worse now. But it really digs into, or I don't know if it digs into it, but it shines a light on the homeless situation in Dublin of 2008. Mm-hmm. And things have not improved since then. So I'd imagine, this is quite common. Mm-hmm. What I liked in the plot, or I don't know if you'd call this cinematography, but when everything's miserable, it's dark.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a very obvious
yeah
thing, but it works in my eyes anyway. So they're at home, the start of it, family lives horrific. But as they get further and further away on the boat journey, starts off slightly coloured, and as they get closer to the centre of town and they're having fun with the guy driving the boat, colour everywhere.
Yeah, like the Wizard of Oz.
Very much like that. And I won't go too much into all the things that happen in the movie, but they have a horrible time near the end of it. And
pretty grim.
As they're on their way back home, fade to grey. Yeah. Which I thought was quite nice. And their adventures are over.
Right.
It's crap and back to reality.
Yeah, it's a simple enough plot. It's let down by a couple of things, in my opinion. Like, a lot of things come together in the plot to make it a bit underwhelming for me.
Well, I found that things weren't finished. Like, the things
a lot
were
of
raised.
Things weren't finished.
Sackman. Throw it in, pointless.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan. Pointless to me. You
yes.
probably disagree.
No, I agree with that.
It's a very tenuous, his name is Dylan. Oh, let's go into Bob Dylan stories.
And so when a Bob Dylan song pops up in the middle of all the other piano jingly crap music that's there. And I read that they didn't even get the rights to the Bob Dylan music until they actually made the movie.
Oh, that's a bit
contacted
ballsy.
Bob's manager, and the manager liked the movie, so they got permission for it. I just think that we don't get to know them that well, and they're not very likable as children anyway, because they're obviously from bad backgrounds, but the whole it just doesn't get deep into their characters a lot. There's not a lot of there's a lot of empty sound, a lot of them staring into space while sitting in the gutters of Dublin, and and things happen to them. It feels like they go for half an hour walking around going, "Do you know Barry Dunn?" Seriously, it was just repeated and repeated and repeated.
The movie could have been 40 minutes and it would have been better for it.
Yeah, the shopping in St. Stephen's Green Mall, which I guess it's St. Stephen's Green.
That's Jervis Street Shopping Centre.
Oh, it is?
It is,
It wasn't St. Stephen's Green. Yeah,
no, but geographically...
The whole shopping trope scene of them trying on stuff. And it's like, what is this? Pretty Woman for kids?
A shitty version of...
and then you could see as well that this was a totally indie movie, and not there's anything wrong with that. But people are like staring and turning around in the shopping centre in certain scenes. Yeah. It's like, this is like filmed without any planning or anything. It's just go for it. I've just listed lots of things here. He starts off at the crap backgrounds, goes along with a barge with some dude that just picks them up and they jump onto it. Goes on to the shopping trope, the Barry Dunn 30 minutes. Then it's like there's some sort of weird chipper scene where the
Abracadabra, would you believe?
Is it?
Yeah, I've been in there many a night.
And it's like and then there's like the alleyway where she runs where they get separated, they have a fight. She's like, I'm never going home.
What reason, to be honest?
That's fine, but near the end of the movie they just go home.
Yeah, I think that there is a catalyst to their need to go home. Is the finding of a corpse?
Yes.
Which
I thought it was just going to be the brother.
No, it's just random.
It's just random. Oh no, it's not my brother.
It's just some lad. Okay,
so nothing.
Let's go tell the fuzz.
I kept on thinking of a Seinfeld scene. Nothing happens. You know, and it's like so. Then this Dylan song comes in from the barge man, right? And there he's going, Dylan. Oh, that's a great name, Bob Dylan. Blah blah. Play the song. And that was the song, and I played it actually after the movie. It's quite a good song.
Oh yeah.
Then they're in the alleyway, and
Mr. Ray
Dylan comes out. Stephen Ray pops out. Obviously, probably the highlight because he actually plays Dylan very well.
Yeah, for 15 seconds.
Yeah, I thought it actually was Dylan, but then like they're walking along because I thought it was just a weird movie that had just weird things, and they wanted it to be a weird thing. And as you're panning out,
the posters.
The posters are there, but they're so like afraid you don't get it that actually zooms in on one of the posters at the end of the panning shot to actually make sure you realize that wasn't the real Bob Dylan. So a lot of stuff happens. I think one of the a lot of crazy things like the drive-by pedo scenario where she gets dragged into a car. He hangs on like James Bond.
Yeah.
And it's like what movie is this? So he's hanging on.
The Born Identity style.
Born Identity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful shots like with neon blue, neon red, but I didn't really get what you're saying about the colours changing because I felt that the colours throughout were just washed out. I thought they were totally washed out, and when the colours did come, it was still sort of a washed out sort of thing as well. And yeah, I just
one thing that annoyed me about the colour thing though is as they it only really worked on distance from home. But let's be honest, if you're being kidnapped by paedophiles, it's not colourful.
Right.
It's black.
Yeah. It was black anyway because it was set during night.
Yeah, but there's still colour. They haven't washed it out. Yeah. So that plot device kind of falls down a little bit because if it's to go with, how good your life is currently and you're enjoying yourself, you're not enjoying yourself when you're in that car.
No.
So
and then they get away with that. Then they go to sleep, find the dead body, go home.
Yeah.
There's this weird overhead shot of where they go up to a policeman, and it's obviously a real policeman because it's shot from up on the top of a building, looking down, and they're like going, "Can you tell us what the time is or something?" And then
I didn't find a body. I didn't burn him.
So basically, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, boy and girl go to Dublin because their home life is terrible. They get into a lot of weird stuff. They have an argument, but they get back together. They meet fake Bob Dylan. They don't really connect with each other, even like more so. Well, let's mention why like kisses. The kiss scene was so uncomfortable for me.
With the lady.
Well, the lady first, but then the two main...
I didn't mind the lady thing. I thought that was
That's
kind of
fine.
nice.
The main actors kissing. How old are they? 12?
Yeah, I found that.
It wasn't even just a peck. It was with tongues.
Oh yeah, it was French. Like
It was like, what the hell?
I found that rather uncomfortable to
Yeah.
watch as well.
That was weird. And like, it was like...
Yeah,
fine,
she was
okay.
supposed to be 10 in that scene.
10?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I
Right.
think 10, which is what.
It was just like, that's
Why?
very adult, that
Yeah.
interaction.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. But the whole premise of Kisses is that when this so-called lady of the night said, oh, if I kiss you, I'm giving you the kiss or whatever, I'm giving you it. And I was like, so what?
Yeah.
And then he kisses her later on, and
It feels like they're trying to make something out of nothing with that.
they tried to make it like...
give it a reason for having the name of the movie, Kisses.
Yeah. They tried to make it like Lost in Translation, like a very ethereal
And in some way,
escapades
and the
through
weird thing
the
is,
city.
there's a lot of parallels to Lost in Translation, just with none of the charisma.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the chemistry between the two actors.
And moving on to acting soon, a lot of the times they were talking, certain things were lost in translation because they're not actors, they're normal kids and they auditioned normally. And I think Kelly O'Neill, stood out to them because she sat in a faraway chair. They purposely put two chairs in a room and they said, oh, that's the one. She sat in that further away leather chair where all the other rest of them sat in the wooden chair next to us. It's like, that's how you pick your actors? Okay.
Is that real?
Yeah. That was an article I read after I watched
Oh my
watched
god,
it.
that's what I call
Yeah. Weird.
casting.
Yeah. So anyway, listen, for plot, I just thought it was just sort of disconnected. I thought that we didn't really get to know them. When they did interact with the people of Dublin, they were little bit snotty kids. And that's what
That's what
they
they're, I
do.
suppose.
Yeah. So listen, I wasn't too happy with the plot. I gave it 2 out of 5 for the plot. It was a good take on Dublin and an interesting part of it, but yeah, not the biggest fan. What's your...
I give it 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Just because I felt bad about giving all the other scores so bad.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
there were elements to it I liked.
Yeah.
It was very formulaic, but...
Yeah. So let's talk about the acting then. 2 non-actors. You thought Shane was better than Kelly. I thought Kelly was better
Yeah,
than Shane.
I rated them individually. I gave him a 3 and I gave her a 2.
Okay.
You probably went the other way.
I gave 1.75 out of 5 for acting in general.
okay.
I just kind of sort of...
Oh.
I went below, like,
You
average.
with the hammer.
I went with the hammer ban. I don't know. The barge man was terrible. The 3 girls at
Yeah,
the
see,
start.
I never rated any of the other people. Like, I didn't even give
No.
Stephen Ray because they're not in it long enough.
I
A lot
actually
of them were terrible.
They were terrible. They weren't actors. They were basically going, hey, can you just say something for us?
I'm wondering the guy with a barge actually was a guy with a barge, perhaps.
Probably. Yeah, you could drive it.
Can you drive the barge? You're in the show.
I am a barge driver. When she is chased down the alleyway by the shop owner, he's terrible. He's like going, I'll get you next time, like a Scooby-Doo
Shaking the old
villain.
fist, yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. I only gave 1.75 because I thought Stephen Ray actually did some research and actually knew how Bob Dylan talked.
I'm not going to give him any points for acting in a movie for less than 30 seconds. You don't get points there from me.
Hey, Stephen, are you in Dublin? I'm doing a movie.
Can you say 5 words, please? Thanks
Yeah.
very much. Here's 10 grand.
Yeah, if that. They got a grant from certain Irish institutions, so
Yeah.
yeah. So everybody else, like, fair play to the 2 kids for doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of the sentences were blurred for me. I thought Shane Curry's sentences were a bit run on for me. I just couldn't understand them sometimes.
Oh, that's
Dublin.
Tala accent.
That's
maybe.
Dublin, yeah. So you gave on average what 2.25 then, did you, or something
for the acting.
for acting in
Yeah,
general?
yeah.
So just above or below average. What about the sound brackets track?
Not a lot to go on, really.
No.
I give it a 2. Like the Dylan stuff, like Dylan music is good, but it didn't fit. It was in the wrong place in my eyes.
I just thought none of the music fit. The piano intro was your typical indie movie, like emotional setting the scene, but different scenes. There was like they were running across a bridge at one point and it was just weird music. They were eating a hot dog and the music was ridiculous.
That's standard hot dog music. I don't know what you're talking about.
The start as well. Like the wind noise was crazy, and the traffic noise was crazy. And I don't know if that was a production choice, but it was like
that's a production choice.
Yeah.
They're trying to set up some sort of
but
desolation.
Yeah, but the volume of the voices then were
They were kind of drowned out.
Yeah. There was something I found out that the people that made, or the band that made the soundtrack songs, was a band called Go Blimps Go.
Yeah.
And Lance Daly is in that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I missed that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I wonder how they got the gig.
Yeah. So there you go. So just look, I don't know how they made the songs or the jingles for everything. So, well, we can move on to production now. I thought the Dead Goldfish intro was a bit much. Remember your Fate No More music video.
Again,
I didn't know what I was looking at, and then it fades into
it's just grim.
Clarity.
But I think it's grim on purpose. But
it's grim, and then there's a dead dog at the start as well.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you getting all these dead animals? And did you kill that goldfish?
That's
for
the
this
first
scene?
thing I told him. I was sitting looking at my goldfish, watching this, going, "You jerks!
Yeah.
How dare you kill a goldfish?"
It's like, did they kill it, or did they just wait for the goldfish to die and then say, okay, we can shoot the movie now?
6 months. Why aren't you dead?
Yeah, we're going above budget here.
Yeah, the dog stuff was.
There's a couple of good close-ups, good angles of when people were talking.
What I did like actually was the trip in on the boat, not the interaction between the actors, but the cinematography of that, the different perspective of Dublin that I've never actually seen, and I thought it was quite interesting.
I didn't know where they were.
Oh, they were coming up
Royal Canal,
Royal Canal, up past the what do you call it? I can't remember the name of the place, but
they pulled into that fancy area of Dublin.
There's the
Docklands,
theatres there. I was there a few weeks ago. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. One thing that made me laugh, and I shouldn't have, because it was one of the most serious points of the thing, where he's running away from his dad, who's drunk, and he just after stabbing him in the forehead
with a Game Boy.
With a Game Boy, and it's like there's a shining moment where he's putting his face through the bathroom door.
That has to be intentional. That's exactly what I seen as well.
It was like
his name wasn't even Johnny.
Yeah. There's Daddy, and then he escapes from that. There is one little callback to Sackman and or the devil, and it's near the end, and it stood out to me a little bit. There is no devil, just people.
Exactly what I was just about to say. It's the only quotable part of it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was because while they grew up rough, they're still quite innocent.
Yeah.
But this is a very adult observation of the world.
Yeah.
There is no devil. There is no boogeyman.
Yeah.
People are just crap.
Just people. And this was after the paedophile scene.
Yeah, well, that'd be a good time to come up with that conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, this is after pedo, before dead body.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, that's interesting we both came up with that, because it must be the best line of the movie then.
It was the only interesting part of it. The only piece that was delivered well as well, in my opinion.
True.
She delivered that quite well.
She did, yeah. So, I gave 2 out of 5 production. I think...
That's about right.
Yeah, it's just... When audio is hard to hear, when audio levels are mixed up and a bit crazy, then I just don't...
I give it 2.5 just because it did a great job of making Dublin look absolutely depressing.
I tell you, if you don't know Dublin and if you don't know Ireland, then watching this movie is probably a good little insight into the realities of maybe...
Yeah, don't make it, make you not go to Dublin because you think it's like this.
It's
not
worse.
It's much worse. You're dead as soon as you arrive.
Yeah.
No, it's like any major city. There are areas like this where it's just grim, and this portrays them quite well, actually.
Yeah. So that's it. That's wrapped up. I think I've gone through all my sort of recollection of the movie. I'd like to. I'm coming up with a new finishing off point for the thing. I picked the best thing a reviewer has said and the worst thing a reviewer has said for a movie. So top of the pops, top of the flops type thing, So Entertainment magazine gave it a 91 and said a superior lyrical ragamuffin Irish drama, which is a load of words in one sentence, trying to make them look, make them sound.
That's garbage.
Yeah. What I did like, the one that kind of the Boston Globe gave it 50, and I kind of agree with their sentiment. It's like what the writer and director Lance Daly means as some kind of transporting urban adventure for them is a disenchanting slog for us.
It's about right.
It's about right. It's a little bit harsh slog, but disenchanting.
If it was longer than an hour and
Trapes,
12
maybe?
minutes, then I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
It should have been shorter. It would have improved the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, disenchanting, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. Great, so that's Kisses 2008, done and dusted. Now is the time of the episode where we go and figure out what we're doing next. So pardon my mouse clicks.
Call the dove from above.
What number are you guessing I hit here? With
7. Definitely 7.
Alright, here we go. Generating for episode 3. It's number 5034. Didn't we just get... Well, it's in the 5000s, but... Yeah, so 5000, so that's 500. 5034. We're going to get a average movie again.
That's okay. The thing is, like, this is a movie I would never have watched without this thing. And actually it wasn't a complete, it wasn't painful. Just not something I'd choose to watch again.
Alright, so 5034. 5034. It is Changing Lanes. April 12th, 2002.
This one I do know.
Do you know it?
I do indeed.
It
involves
is
changing lanes.
Yeah, it's Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
A rush hour fender bender on New York City crowded FDR Drive turns two complete strangers into vicious adversaries.
I'm ready to give my review.
Typical. Oh yeah, you know it already? Well, you're going to have to watch it again just in case you didn't pick up on stuff. Great. Alright, that's the end of episode 2 of 15K plus random movie reviews. See you on the next episode. Bye bye.
Cheerio.